Shalom, 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 brothers and sisters. Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is your brother Kazakya, priest Kazakya from Malachi Ministries. I want to set the record straight before I go further in this particular video. I know you're looking at my cap on my head. You're saying this brother's a Muslim. Okay? No, I am not a Muslim. When I get finished with this lesson, you will wish I was a Muslim, but I'm not a Muslim. Okay? Now, I've been putting off this particular video. I was trying to that I'm going to do today because I basically have been following these prophets of Trump. And when I say prophets of Trump, I mean exactly that, because these prophets are pastors that have left the gospel per se and have gone into the gospel of Donald J. Trump. So this video is for them first, and secondly for all of those that follow them. The scriptures had a lot to say about prophecy, a lot more than most people know about. But a lot of what the scripture has to say about prophecy is rebuke to those that practice using the gift of prophecy for the sole purpose of control, right? So what I want to do is I want to open up with Numbers chapter 11, because prophecy is the greatest of all the gifts, but we have to understand that prophecy, the Most High wants us all to be prophets, but not prophets like people getting up today and acting as if the Most High is speaking through them and spoon feeding a word to them to give to the people, right? That in itself is divination. Okay. Now, I know you said, brother, I don't agree with that. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to show you what prophecy is in this lesson. And when we're finished, then you'll see why I said that what most people do and call a prophecy is divination. And then other people that do that are doing that out of their own inspiration. Okay. Now, here's what I want to say. In Numbers chapter 11, we find a story, right, where the prophet had said, the prophet Moses, who was the first of the prophets to the nation of Israel, I should say, because there were other prophets before him, but that's another lesson. But in Numbers chapter 11, verse 24, it says, Moses went out to and told the people the words of Yahuwah, right? Now, once you do yourself a favor, once you go and get your Strong's numbers, look up that word Lord, and you will see that Lord, which most people use, Lord, is a substitution, right? Most theologians and scholars know that they substituted the Most High's name and put Lord in there. So I want you to be clear about that. So when you hear me read Yahuwah or Yahweh, however I pronounce it, depending on the phraseology of the passage, I may pronounce it different. Okay, I may just say simply Yah. But be that as it may, he said that Moshe went out and told the people the words of Yahuwah, and gathered the 70 men of the elders, the people, and set them round about the tabernacle. And Yahuwah came down in a cloud and spoke unto him, and took of the spirit that was upon him and gave it unto the 70, right? So now here we're seeing that this was an experience of Acts. It was an Acts chapter 2 experience in the book of Numbers. Did you know that? Okay. So he took his spirit that was upon Moshe and gave it unto the 70 elders. And it came to pass that when the spirit rested upon them, they prophesied and did not cease. Okay. So now I want to just go back up to verse 23, because verse 23 will bring clarity for you to understand what it was that the Most High was giving them to say. So we go to Numbers 11:23, and Yahuwah said to Moshe, is Yah's hand waxed short? Thou shalt see now whether my word, right, shall come to pass unto thee or not. So This is what Moshe prophesied, and this is what they prophesied. They prophesied the word of Yah. So prophets are supposed to prophesy the word of Yah. Right now, I'm going to cover something in a minute. Okay, so now let's go back now. And we got that clarity. The prophets are supposed to prophesy the word of Yah, not their own words, not their own passion, not their own beliefs or desires, but the word of Yah. Right. So now it says, verse 26, this is Numbers chapter 11, verse 26. But there remained two of the men in the camp. The name of the one was Eldad, and the name of the other was Medad. And the Spirit rested upon them, and they were of them that were written, but went not out into the tabernacle, and they prophesied in the camp. And watch this now, verse 27. This is Numbers chapter 11, verse 27. And there ran a young man and told Moshe and said, Eldad and Medad do prophesy in the camp. Okay. Now, like I said, what were they prophesying? They were prophesying the word of Yah, right? They wasn't prophesying, it's coming a revival. There's coming a revival to America and souls are going to be saved. No, they weren't prophesying it. They was prophesying the word of Yah. And there's a specific word that they prophesy, right? Now, in a nutshell, without giving it to you, without making you wait, I should say, I'm going to give you the word of Yah. Everything that the Most High says is his word. In other words, law, statutes, commandments. That's the word of Yah. He doesn't change. Okay, man changes and man's concepts and beliefs change, but Yah doesn't change, right? So let's continue. Now, verse 28. So Joshua, or Yahoshua, that's how you say his name in the Hebrew tongue, the son of Nun, servant of Moshe, one of the young men answered and said, my master Moshe, right? Talking to Moses, forbid them. He said, don't let them prophesy no more. They were prophesying, right? So Moshe, he told Moshe, this is the one that carried on the nation of Israel at the absence of Moshe or Moses, the prophet. He told the prophet, forbid them to speak. Watch what happens now. All right, let's continue. He said, forbid them. Verse 29. And Moshe said unto him, he said unto Yehoshua, the son of Nun, or Joshua, right? Envious thou for my sake, for would that all Yah's people were prophets, and that Yahuwah would put his spirit upon them, right? So the prophet himself said that he wished that the spirit of Yah would be upon him and upon all the people. Let's read it again. He said, would, verse 29, he said, envious thou for my sake, would Elohim that all Yah's people were prophets. In other words, he's saying, I would love for all the people of Yah to be prophets. That was what the Most High, the precept was. If you go to Exodus chapter 19, you'll see that was the original precept for the nation of Israel, that the whole nation would be kingdom of priests and a set apart nation, right? That they would all be the priests who was the ones that carried the word of Yah, which are what? Nabis in the Hebrew tongue, or prophets, right? Let's continue. So he says, I wish that all were prophets and that Yah would put his spirit upon them, right? So that is what the Most High wanted to do. Now that corresponds with Acts chapter 2. When the Spirit came, right, it did what? Made them, it empowered them to prophesy, right? So what do they prophesy? What the word of Yah says. Everything that the Most High said from the beginning to that time, everything he said, they began to prophesy what he said, right? So that's what prophecy is in a nutshell. Prophecy is proclaiming what Yah says, not some fresh, brand new thing you've never heard before. Going to get car, shoes, house, wife, all that. That's not prophecy, right? that's something different. We'll talk about that in another lesson. All right. Now, what I want to do is I want to offer you little video clips here. I'm going to play. Now I'm going to show you just a little bit of. I'm going to read some scriptures about what I see as happening in the Christian prophetic arena. So let's just pull this up real quick. And this is a prophecy conference that was in Nashville, Tennessee. The host was Pastor Kent Christmas, right? So let's just go and listen in and see what's happening here, okay?
Well, let's go ahead and go down the whole line. Robin Bullock.
Can you pause for a second? I kind of started it. The person here on the left, this is Doug Sheets. He just announced him. This is Robin Bullock. This is Kent. This is Hank Kuhneman here. This is Kent Christmas, the host. This is Timothy Dixon, one of the newest so-called prophets in the rotation. I don't know who this person is here. He's somebody new, and that's Mario Murillo. Now, interesting thing is, I'm gonna kind of try. I'm not gonna play all of their prophecies. Just want to show you what's going on. But interesting thing that I saw when I watched this was Mario Murillo had a whole nother spirit. He kind of overturned those other prophecies because the things he said, he went off on an evangelical tip. But all those other prophets were prophesying about Trump, right? And so they prophesied about Trump and revival, all of that, right? Okay, now, so with that said, let's get back into the video.
Pastor Hank Kuhneman. Of course, your very own Kent Christmas.
Okay.
Timothy Dixon. Todd Coconato.
Okay, so that's his name, Todd Coconato.
And Mario Murillo. Yeah.
Mario Murillo. Now, I kind of like Mario Murillo. He's a little different than them other guys. So I think the Most High is.
I almost felt like I was doing the dating game right here.
Working with him in a different arena, but we'll see what's coming out of that.
Anointing leaving the room.
I was an evangelist myself, so I can relate to evangelicals, not evangelical, but evangelist people that.
Dutch, what is God showing you?
Okay, here's Doug Sheets
in our country.
Everybody knows what I'm hearing because they listen for 15 minutes every day, right? Everybody. I tell you what I heard last night, sitting at the hotel praying about this.
Okay.
And I've not shared this before. This is, and I didn't know if I would share it until Robin said it a few minutes ago when he said the chariot wheels are coming off. They're at the Red Sea, and the chariot wheels are coming off. So chapter 14 of that chapter says, the Lord said to Moses, turn around, turn back and go. And he told him exactly where to go before.
Okay, I want to pause right there because there's something that just kind of sticks out of my head. They're talking about the Red Sea, right? Now, we're going to cover that in the prophecy. There's a prophecy that talks about them all speaking the same thing, taking each other's words. I have a number of pages. That I'm going to read from with all these prophecies as time permits. I'm going to try to not be too lengthy with it because it's a lot to cover. So what I'm going to do is I'll do this here. Since I mentioned that, let's go to one of the places where he said that they stole each other's words. You know what? I'm not going to do that because I'm going to read it. But basically, when I get to it, I'll make mention of it. But let's just let him finish. So they basically are all saying the same thing. They are repeating each other's doctrine, each other's prophecy. They are still in each other's words. So we're gonna let the prophecy, the scriptures speak to that. But let's just kind of go with the flow for a minute, okay?
The Red Sea parted. And what he did was he led them in a way that it looked to Pharaoh like they were confused and wondering and didn't know what they were doing, and that now he could trap them. And the place God led them to was directly opposite. In other words, they were looking at a hill, and it was called Baal Zephon, or Zephon. It means the God of the sea, or Baal, the master of the sea. And Hebrew writers say that Pharaoh said at that point, "This is the only God that Moses' God could not take out." Because not only was God delivering Egypt or Israel, he was judging the gods of Egypt, but this is the only one he hadn't dealt with. And that Pharaoh thought, okay, finally, I have a God that's stronger than the God of Israel. And he has trapped them now right in front of him, and I'm going to go take them out. And the Bible says God hardened Pharaoh's heart there. And the plan was, I'm going to take out the God of the sea, but I'm going to use the sea to finish what I started. I'm going to show all of Egypt and all of Israel that I'm God over all the gods of Egypt, and I can deal with all of them. And so even though he waited, and even though it looked like finally the enemy had won, can you say America? But I say to you that God has one more strategy up his sleeve, and that is to take the chariot wheels off of Pharaoh's army and expose the God of Pharaoh and show himself strong on behalf of his people. He is not finished with America. He's not finished with this planet, and he's going to show himself strong now. And that's what I heard when I got here last night.
Okay, pause for a second. Now, what I want to do is, if you look at my screen here, while he was talking, I was digging out that passage in Jeremiah 23 and 30. Okay, Jeremiah 23 and 30. Now, if you look at the screen, you'll see I have a comparison version because I want to read through each one of these, right? But let's begin with the King James Version, and this is what he says. Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets, says Yahuwah, that stealeth my words, everyone from his neighbor, right? Now, so when they say all the prophets say the same thing, they're saying the same thing because they listen to each other, right? Now, the BBE, which is the Bible in Basic English, says, for this cause I am against the prophets, says Yahuwah, who take my words, everyone from his neighbor. Okay. Let's see. Let's look at one more version here. This is the ER version. It says, I think it's English Revised Version. This message is from Yahuwah. So I am against the false prophets. They keep stealing my words from each other. So that's what's going on. That's the common denominator with these. That's why they all say the same thing. Somebody said all these prophets say the same thing, right? Okay, now let's play a couple more here. That's Doug Sheets. Let's play. I think this is the next one. This Timothy. What's his name? Timothy.
Right. Todd Coconato.
No, Todd Coconato. I don't know if he's new to me. I never heard him before. I'm
This
going to look him up.
season has been a tough one for many people, As we've looked at the political environment, the situation in America, many of us feel we know what has happened. There's been a robbery. We're not afraid to talk about it. But here's the thing. The devil has overplayed his hand. Look around this room right here. This is the remnant. And the remnant is rising in America right now. You better believe it. We will not be shut down. We will not be closed down. We are walking in miracle signs and wonders. Hear me. We are going to see God move in such a way, such a fresh outpouring.
Okay, just a little side note. So they're taking all of these passages that's from the scriptures that's a reference to the nation of Israel and applying it to them. The remnant has nothing to do with the Christian church, right? That's called the replacement theology, is what most of them do. At the same time, they say, well, we're for Israel. But yet at the same time, you're taking Israel's place and applying all prophecies to the Christian church, right? So the remnant is not talking about those people in that audience, neither is it talking about the Christians, okay? Just wanted to add that in, all right?
The Holy Spirit, that what he is about to do, they will look and they will say that no man could have done this. This must be the hand of the living God. Hallelujah. And God has allowed this time so that there is a separation of the wheat from the chaff. This rising remnant, he is saying that the word of the Lord is complete victory. Complete victory. And we are meant to take back this territory. If things would have gone smooth and President Trump would have just got right in there, we wouldn't be in this time right now.
See, so basically, he's talking about Trump, right? If you suppose to, that's why I like this last person, Mario Murillo, who's going to just kind of change the tone. The church has lost their direction. All their focus has been on Donald Trump. Now, I'm not saying it all, so don't play me for that. But I'm saying a lot of the Christian church have gone, especially these evangelicals, they have gone from preaching the gospel to preaching the message of Donald Trump and the deep state. The Messiah said, behold, I give unto you power to tread upon serpents and scorpions. So if he gave the church power, why are you worried about what the deep state can do? Okay, let's continue with this brother here.
But God allowed this for a very specific reason. It's not about a name. It's not about a ministry. It's about the Spirit of the living God that is going to move in such a powerful way. Hear me. And they tried to light our cities on fire, and there was a spirit of rebellion, but this room right here is going to be fire starters that are going to go to the highways and the byways, and they're going to light a holy fire.
Okay, so let's unpack it. So what is he talking about? They try to light our cities on fire. He's talking about what? Black Lives Matter, the people on the left, okay? That's another lesson. I'm not going to talk about that, but this lesson is about prophets, so I got a lot to cover. Let's continue. All right.
This nation like we have never seen before. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.
Now watch this next person here. This is the trucker prophet. Started out in the truck doing videos on YouTube. He went viral and his channel blew up. And now he's on the stage with these other guys prophesying Trump. And every day he's got a prophecy about Trump.
One of the most interesting to me people I've seen on YouTube was Timothy Dixon. Timothy, I want to just open it up for you. What is the Lord telling you about this time?
Watch this now. False humility. Look at that.
The Lord would speak to this nation.
Now hold for a second before I let him continue. How is it that you are like an on and off button You say you're a prophet, right? Let me come back on the screen. You say you're a prophet of the Most High, but you can turn off and on the prophecy, right? It's like turning on a faucet, and all of a sudden you're going to start speaking, and this is supposed to be the Most High speaking through you, right? But then when you look and see what they prophesy the exact same thing over and over again, right? Watch this. This is crazy, right? All right. Now let's go back into him. All right. This is Timothy Dixon.
The hour of great deliverance. For my hands has reached out across this time where Satan has stood up through the laws of the land to try to destroy the revival that springs forth in this hour. But know that the Spirit that raises up in this place today, that I've marked this forth, this day, as a day of coming out, a day of awakening, a day that my word comes forth like a fire and shall set forth across the nation and shall bring to pass the words that's been spoke and prophesied, saith the Lord. For soon you'll see, even as the words has been spoke, Air Force One will return with the one, saith the Lord, that I have chose for this hour and this day. For Satan cannot stand against the power that stands against the enemy today.
So Air Force One is supposed to be, this is supposed to be the words of the Most High. Air Force One, the Most High said that Air Force One is going to go and get Donald Trump and bring him back to the White House. That's what the Most High said. Air Force One, this is what he wants us to believe. This is what the Most High is saying, that Air Force One is going to go pick Donald Trump up, bring him back to the White House, and make Donald Trump be back in the office. So you see the blasphemy of these so-called prophets. They're prophesying of their own flesh. And we're going to read some things out of there where they prophesy. Matter of fact, let's do it. I'll stop right there and read a couple. Okay. Jeremiah 14:14 says, Yahweh said to me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spoke unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination, a thing of naught, and the deceit of their heart, right? Jeremiah 6:13 says, for from the least of them, even to the greatest of them, everyone is given to covetousness, and from prophet even unto the priest, everyone dealeth falsely, right? So he wants you to believe that the Most High is going to send Air Force One to pick up Donald Trump to bring him back into the White House. All right, I'm gonna cover some more verses right while I'm on a roll. Jeremiah 23:25 says, I have heard what the prophets say that prophesy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed, right? How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yes, they are prophets of deceit of their own heart, right? Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets, says Yah, that steal my words, everyone from his neighbor, right? Behold, I am against the prophets, says Yah, that use their tongues and say, he saith. That's what Timothy Dixon is saying, he saith, right? Jeremiah 23:32 says, behold, I am against them that prophesy false dreams, that says Yah, and do tell them, and cause my people to err by their lies and by their lightness, yet I sent them not, nor commanded them. Therefore they shall not profit this people at all, says Yahweh. Okay, now let's go with the next one. Jeremiah 29:8 says, for thus says Yah of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, let not your prophets and your diviners that be in the midst of you deceive you, neither hearken to their dreams, which ye caused them to dream. In other words, they had caused them own selves to dream these dreams and say it was Yah. When you meditate on something all the time, you end up causing yourself to hallucinate dreams, like you're dreaming, right? All right. Now, 29, Jeremiah 29:9, right? Okay. I'm going to go back first. Since I'm reading, I'm going to just go ahead and read them all out. Okay. So let me back up first. I left off at 29:9. Make sure you remind me to go back there. Okay. Now, what I wanted to open up with was the Most High said the true prophets tells you to keep the commandments, right? So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 13, right? And we're going to read Deuteronomy chapter 13. Let me bring it up on the screen so you can see it, right? We're going to read Deuteronomy chapter 13. And we're going to start right at verse 1. So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 13, starting at verse 1, right? I'm going to bring this on the screen because I want you all to see it. Okay, we're going to open up this with the King James Version, right? Okay. Okay. Now, let's bring this up on the screen so you can see it. I'm going to decrease that he might increase, right? All right. Deuteronomy 13:1 says, if there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams and give you a sign or a wonder, a sign or wonder come to pass, and that whereof he spoke unto you, saying, let us go after other deities which thou fathers have not known, let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words, right? Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of the prophet or dreamer of dreams, for Yahuwah your Elohim proof of you, to know whether you love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul. So basically what he's saying is when these people have these dreams, they dream these dreams, right? And the wonder comes to pass. So that doesn't give them a pass. If a person prophesies something and it comes to pass, most people feel like that person's anointed by the Most High. They're a prophet. But if you look at what we just read, he says, if they prophesy to you, if a dreamer, let's read it again, if there arise a prophet or dreamer of dreams and give you a sign or a wonder. So the prophet, the dreamer of dreams, prophesied and gives you a sign that comes to pass and a wonder, right? So that does not make them authentic because something that they said came to pass. That's why a lot of people have fallen for the Mickey and the drink, because somebody said something and came to pass. Now you trust everything that they tell you. Look at these false preachers like Rod Parsley, right? He's on TV and begging people for money during the aftermath of the global shutdown due to COVID-19. He's asking for people to send money in, right? And some people are going to be foolish enough to send money in to him. I've already done it, right? Now, also, a little point I wanted to make, Brother Gene, at the beginning of the video, I didn't play that part, but he was jokingly talking about, he looked over the audience and saw all those people. He said, I'm ready to collect the offering. So that basically lets you know where their heart is, right? Now, let's go back into Deuteronomy. So they can speak a word that comes to pass, a sign or wonder, right? But now watch what he says, verse 4, the Most High said that he allowed that to happen. So when a person spoke a word and it comes to pass, the Most High allows that to happen just so you can be proven, right? Look what he says. Verse 3 again, he says, thou shalt not hearken to the words of that prophet or dreamer of dreams, for Yah, your Elohim, proveth you. See, are you following signs or are you following Yah? Right? So a lot of people get caught up. They follow signs because, oh, he's an accurate prophet, right? You might as well go to see a palm reader because they're accurate too, right? So that does not make you an authentic man or woman of the Most High because something that you said, a sign or wonder came to pass, right? Let's continue. So it said he sent them, Elohim prove you to know whether you will love Yah, your Elohim, with all your heart, with all your soul. Watch this now. You shall walk after Yah, your Elohim, and fear him. Don't fear these prophets, these so-called prophets that they get mad and Hank Kuhneman and Kat Kerr got mad and started slamming down her hand like she was the voice of Yah, right? And people get fearful, and then they, that's not his prophet, that's not his anointed. Listen, that's not talking about them at all. That was the story between King David and Shaul or Saul, right? Now let's get back. So verse 4, it says, you shall walk after Yah, your Elohim, fear him and keep his commandments and obey his voice, and you shall serve him and cleave to him. So that's what the prophet is supposed to be teaching. The prophet is supposed to be teaching you to obey Yah, not look to the right, to the left, not have your faith in a revival coming to America, right? Can you show me in the scripture where it speaks about a revival coming to America, a revival coming to the world, right? Okay. Only one place in the pages of the 66 books that you have that talks about revival, and the word is not revival, it's talking about revive, right? Shall we read that? Read that for another time. Okay, now let's continue. So he says, and that prophet, verse 5, or a dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from Yah, your Elohim. So he said, bro, they're not turning away. They're turning away from people on the left, the deep state, those ones that are for abortion, those that are for gay. Listen, there's more in the book of the law besides abortion and gays. How about feeding the fatherless and the widows, right? Okay. How about all the other transgressions, right? Not lending to usury, right? The banking industry makes so much money off of people with high interest. But I digress. Okay. So just because the person is proclaiming two strong points, right? They're the ones that said, if you disobey one part of the law, you're guilty of all. So thou shalt not murder, right? Is one of the 10 commandments. What about remember the seventh day? You don't keep that. What about in thou shalt not steal, right? You've stolen from people, stolen them and their wages. We look at the politicians that don't want to pay people living wages. You're stealing, right? All right, continue. So he said, that prophet or dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he hath spoken to turn you away from Yah, your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, and thus thee out of the way which Yah, your Elohim, commanded you to walk in. What is that? We're not under the law, brother. The Most High said, teach them to keep my commandments. That's what the prophet is supposed to do. They're supposed to prophesy. You never hear these people prophesying against the Christian church about the wickedness that they do, right? Only prophesying revival coming and salvation to the world. Okay, but they're not turning people's hearts. But he said, Yah, your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out the way Yah, your Elohim, commanded you to walk in. So shall you put evil out from your midst, right? So that's Deuteronomy 13 verses 1 through 5. And let's skip down to verse 8 now. We're not done with that. So let's go down to Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 8, read 8 through 10. He says, thou shalt not consent unto him, right? Nor hearken unto him, neither shalt your eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him. But thou shalt surely kill him, thine hand shall be first upon him, put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. And thou shalt stone him with stone that he die, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from Yah, your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. And all Israel, verse 11, shall hear and fear, shall do no more any such wickedness as is among you, right? So that's what the Mosai said. Now we can't kill them because we're not the law of the land. But what we can do, we can kill them with the word, right? Which means what? Discount them as a true prophet. Because when they're teaching you to go against the Most High, and they're teaching you to practice idolatry because they have idolized Donald Trump as if he was a Messiah. Most High speaks against that, right? Now, let's continue. So we read Deuteronomy chapter 13, 1 through 5 and 8 through 10, right? Matthew's 5:18, I want to go there real quick because that's a footnote, little sidebar. So let's go over to Matthew chapter 5 and 18, right? Because I know I heard somebody say, oh, brother, we're not under the law. The Messiah, he fulfilled the law, right? So let's go and see what the Messiah said. Let's go to 5 and 17. It says, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall no wise pass from the law until all be fulfilled, right? Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments. Now stop right here. This is called reading and comprehension. If the law was ended, then he would have had no need to say this following verse. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall teach, what are you teaching? That's what the prophets are supposed to prophesy. The prophets are supposed to teach and prophesy to the people to do what? To keep the commandments, right? So he said, whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Let's do a real quick comparison to that verse amongst the other verses. So BB, the Bible in basic English said, whoever then goes against the smallest of these laws, teaches men to do the same, will be named least in the kingdom of heaven. But he who keeps the laws, teaching others to keep them, right, will be named great in the kingdom of heaven. See, even the Bible in basic English knows he's talking about that we're supposed to keep the law, right? Now, let's look at one more version. I like the ERV version. It says, a person should obey every command in the law, even one that does not seem important. Whoever refuses to obey any command and teaches others not to obey it will be least important in Elohim's kingdom. But whoever obeys the law and teaches others to obey it will be great in Elohim's kingdom. How do you like that, right? So now what I want to do is that's Matthew 5:18. Let's look at some other things here. So we covered already. We covered I didn't cover Deuteronomy 18. Now this is the thing that puts the nail in the coffin. So let's go to Deuteronomy 18 and 20, right? All right, Deuteronomy 18. Okay. And 20. So let's do Deuteronomy 18 and 20. Okay. It says, let's read verse 19. Let's read verse 18. Okay, 18:18. I will raise up a prophet from among their brethren like unto me, and I will put my words in his mouth. He shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken to my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other deities, even that prophet shall die. And if thou shalt say in thy heart, how shall we know the word which Yah have spoken? Okay, that's a question. That's a real good question, right? How shall we know the word that the Most High has spoken, right? He gives us the answer, right? Verse 22. So we're in Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 22. When a prophet speaketh in the name of Yahuwah, and these brothers are saying they're speaking in the name of Yah, right? And it says the thing followed not. Okay, we're going to do a comparison on that verse there, right? If the thing follows not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which Yah have not spoken. But the prophet have spoken it presumptuously, right? And thou shalt not be afraid of him. See, these so-called prophets like Hank Kuhneman, right? They get angry with you because their prophecies didn't come to pass. Well, the Most High said that if they speak a word and it doesn't come to pass, he says, don't be afraid of them. Matter of fact, I will stop sending my money to them until they repent. You want to shut these prophets down and keep prophet lying and keep saying, thus saith Yah, and he didn't say it. Stop sending money to them. I guarantee they'll change their doctrine. I don't know how some of y'all put up with it. Y'all listen to them every week. And now that the churches are back in session, you go to church every week and everything that comes out of their mouth is connected to Donald Trump in the 2020 election. And you paying your tithes and offerings for that nonsense. I'd hold my money back. Okay? Or leave the church. Or both. Okay, so that prophet speaketh in the name of Yah, and the thing follows not, or come to pass that thing which Yah have not spoken. So let's do a comparison to see what my favorite version says. This is the Bible in basic English. It says, when a prophet makes a statement in the name of Yah, if what he says does not take place and his words do not come true, then his word is not the word of Yah. The words of the prophet were said in the pride of his heart. And you are to have no fear of him. So Bible basic English said that the words were said in the pride of that prophet's heart. So they say, well, brother, we're not prideful. You're being hard on the prophets. The Most High is hard on the prophets. Okay? Now, we're going to read down and look at these other versions. Brenton said, whatsoever words the prophet shall speak in the name of Yah, and they shall not come true and not come to pass, this is the thing which Yah has not spoken. That prophet has spoken wickedly, you shall not spare him. Oh, so he going back to the book of the law. That way, Princeton, you don't want to read Princeton tell you, don't spare him, kill him, right? Okay. We're going to skip past the Sefer version. That's like a sacred name version. Okay, this is CEV. You will know because if Yah says something, it will happen. It will happen. Okay, so you don't have to make excuses. The CEV version says Yah says something, it will happen. You don't have to go to no court. You don't have to go to no legal proceedings. You don't have to go and stop the steal and all of that, right? Because if Yah says something going to come to pass, CEV is anointed. He says that it will happen, right? If it doesn't, you will know that the prophet was falsely claiming to be speaking for Yah. Don't be afraid of any prophet whose message does not come from Yah. Okay. Now, ERV version says what? If a prophet says he is speaking for Yah, but what he says does not happen, you will know that Yah did not say it. You will know that this prophet was speaking his own ideas. You don't need to be afraid of him, right? ESV says it like this. When a prophet speaks in the name of Yah, if the word does not come to pass or come true, that is a word that Yah has not spoken. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You need not be afraid of him, right? All right. So that's good. Let me see. Is there any other version down here that's got something good to say? Okay, let's read this here. This is NET. Whenever a prophet speaks in a name and prediction is not fulfilled, then I have not spoken it. The prophet has presumed to speak it, so you need not to fear him, right? Okay. So let's look at Young Literal Translation. Okay, I see this one here. Okay. That which the prophet speaketh in the name of Yah, we're going to get rid of all that's pagan substitution. Jehovah's a pagan substitution, but that's another lesson. When a prophet speaketh in the name of Yah, and the thing is not, and cometh not, it is the word. It is the word which Yah have not spoken. In presumption have the prophet spoke it. Thou art not afraid of him. Right. So that's that. Now, what I want to do is I have a footnote of Acts 5 and 3 through 11. So let's go to Acts chapter 5, verses 3 through 11. Scoot on down, Acts chapter 5. Okay, what I say, verses 3 through 11. So let's read 5 and 3 through 11. Okay, Shimon Kepha said to Ananias, why have Satan filled thy heart to lie to the Spirit of Yah, to keep back part of the price? Okay. Verse 4, while it remained, was it not yours? After it was sold, was it not in your own power? Why hast you conceived this thing in your heart that thou should lie to men? And thou hast not lied unto men, but unto Elohim. And Ananias heard these words, fell down and gave up the ghost, and great fear came on all them that heard the things. So she dropped dead for lying on Yah. Okay, it doesn't end there. Verse 6, the young men rose, wound him up, and carried him out and buried him. So Ananias was the man, I believe. Okay, so I said her. Okay, it was about the space of 3 hours after when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in, and Shimon Kepha, or Peter, answered to her, tell me whether you sold the land for so much. She said, yes, for so much. Then Shimon Kepha said to her, how is it you have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of Yah? Behold, the feet of them which have buried your husband are at the door and shall bury you. Then she fell down straightway at his feet and yielded up the ghost, and the young men came in and found her dead and carried her forth and buried her by her husband. And great fear came upon the assembly and upon as many as heard these things. So that's what the Most High is saying. He is against these lying prophets. We're going to cover some more of that in these pages I have here with these lying prophets, right? So we covered that Deuteronomy 18, 20 through 22. Now, let's go to Isaiah chapter 30. We're going to read verses 10 through 12. So Isaiah chapter 30, right? Verses 10 through 12. Okay. Which of the seers see not, and to the prophets prophesy not unto us right things? Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Get you out of the way, turn aside out of the paths, cause the set apart one of Israel to cease from before us. Verse 12, he says, Wherefore, thus says the set apart one of Israel, because you despise this word and thrust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an insight. So now, let me go back first to verse 8 because I need to read because I started at verse 10. So let's read verse 8. It says, now go write it before the table and note it in a book, that it may be for time to come, forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yah. See that? That's what it's about, hearing the law of Yah. You can't take the law into your own hands and embrace the part of the law that you want and reject the other part of the law and expect you to get favor and the revival to come to America. He says they are lying children and they will not hear the law of Yah. Okay, now what I want to do, let's do a comparison. Okay, let's go in here and compare these passages. The Bible in basic English says, for they are uncontrolled people, false-hearted, who will not give ear to the teaching of Yah. Now hear what that so-called prophet says. Oh, they won't hear what Yah say, right? All right. For this is a disobedient, Brenton's version says, for this is a disobedient false children who would not hear the law of Yah, right? How about that? The CEV version says, they have turned against Yah and can't be trusted. They have refused his teaching, right? Okay, ERV says these people are like children who refuse to obey. They lie and refuse to listen to Yah's teaching, right? Okay, let's look down to the Young's literal. That a rebellious people is this: sons, liars, sons not willing to hear the law of Yah, right? Now, let's go to the next verse, verse 10, because that's a powerful one, right? So we go to verse 10 and do a comparison. Bible in basic English says, who say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, do not give us word of what is true, but say false things to give us pleasure. Oh my mercy. You hear that? Let's read that again. Bible in basic English says, who say to the seer, they'll say to the prophets, see not, don't see what Yah, don't see the true, the reality of what Yah is saying. What he's saying, obey my law and my statutes and commandments, but don't tell us that. Do not give us the word, what is true, but say false things to give us pleasure. Say that which is false to give us pleasure. That's what we want, right? Right? So that's what it said. Speak to us smooth things, right? Right? Speak to us smooth things, right? Smooth, it says, speak to us smooth things, right? Prophesy deceit. We don't want to hear none of that. We want you to prophesy things that are going to make us feel good, encourage us, right? All right. So Brenton says, who say to the prophets, report not to us and to them that see vision. Speak not to us, but speak the report to us another error. Right? All right. ERV says, they tell the prophets, don't see dreams about things we should do. Don't see dreams about things we should do. Don't tell us the truth. Say nice things to us and make us feel good. See only good things for us. Only see the good thing. Don't tell us what we're supposed to do. Don't cry loud, spare not, show my people their transgressions. No. Tell us, oh, it's coming to revival. Oh, tell us, oh, there's a breakthrough coming. Oh, tell us, oh, there are good things about to happen to you. Something good is about to happen to you. That's what the people want to hear, right? Now, the Most High said through one of the mouths of the prophet, I forget which one it was, he said, if you be willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land, right? All right, I can pull it up real quick since you asked about it, okay? We're going to go back there and finish that out. But Let's see. He said, you be willing and obedient, right? Okay, that's Isaiah 1:19. If you be willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land, right? But if you refuse and rebel, you shall be devoured with the sword, for the mouth of Yah has spoken it. Now, that's just for the sake of it, right? Let's look at the comparison of verse 119. Bible in basic English says, if you will give ear to my word and do it, good things of the land will be yours, right? All right. CEV says, if you willingly obey me, the best crops of the land will be yours. Verse ERV says, if you listen to what I say, you will get the good things from this land, right? Young's Literal Translation says, if you are willing and have hearkened the good of the land, you consume. Okay. Now, let's go right back to where did we leave off at? We were in Isaiah 30 and was it 10? So let's go back to Isaiah 30 and 10. Okay. All right. Okay, so he said, was a smooth thing. That's what it was. Speak to us, smooth thing. That was verse 10. Okay. So now they want the prophet to prophesy smooth things and tell them things that they want to hear in deceits. Okay. Now, verse 12 says, wherefore thus saith Yah, because you despise his word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon, therefore iniquity shall be yours as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in high places, whose breaking cometh suddenly and instantly. So I know I heard you say you want to know what that says in the comparison version, right? So let's compare verse 12. Okay, Bible in basic English says, for this cause the set apart one of Israel says, because you will not give an ear to this word and are looking for help in ways of deceit and evil and are putting your hope in them, right? Okay. Now, we're going to read the next verse, but let's go down to CEV says what? Now, this is the answer of the set apart one of Israel. You rejected my message and you trusted violence and lies. ERV says, the set apart one of Israel says, you people have refused to accept this message from me, you people, right? You depend on fighting and lies to help you, right? Young's Literal says, therefore says Yah, set apart one of Israel, because of your kicking against the word, you trust in oppression and perverseness and rely on it, right? Okay, now, so we want to go to verse 13, which concludes that thought. Going back to the comparison version, he says, this sin will be to you like crack in a high wall, causing its fall suddenly and in a minute. Okay. CEV says this sin is like a crack that makes a high wall quickly crumble. ERV says you are guilty of these things, so you are like a tall wall with cracks in it. That wall will fall and break into small pieces, right? Young's says, therefore it is iniquity to you as a breach fallen, swelled out in a wall set on high, whose destruction suddenly at the instant cometh, right? So that is it for Isaiah 30. Now, we covered Isaiah 6:13. We're going to look at Isaiah 6:13, and we're going to look at the comparisons. Jeremiah 6:13. So 6:13, and we're going to compare it with these other versions. So, but just for the sake of it, 6:13 says, for from the least of them to the greatest of them, everyone is given to covetousness, and from the prophet even to the priest, everyone deals falsely. So now we know what that says in the King James Version. Let's read it now from the version of the BBE. It says, from the least of them even to the greatest, everyone is given up to getting money. From the prophet even the priest, everyone is working deceit. Let me read that one more time. This is the BBE, Bible in Basic English. For from the least of them even to the greatest, Everyone is given up to getting money. From the prophet, even the priest, everyone is working deceit. All right, let's go down to ERV. Let's do the CEV first. Everyone is greedy and dishonest, whether poor or rich. Even the prophets and priests cannot be trusted. The ERV says, all the people of Israel want more and more money. All of them, from the least important to the most important, are like that. Even the prophets and priests tell lies. Even the prophets and priests tell lies. Right? Now let's go to Young's. Young's says, for from the least of them to the greatest, everyone is gaining dishonest gain. Oh my. And from prophet even to priest, everyone is dealing falsely. Right? Okay. See that? Now, that's the whole thing. Everyone is dealing falsely. Right? Now let's go to that's verse 13. All right, let's go to verse 14 and let's compare that. Okay. BBE says, and they have made little of the wounds of my people, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. Okay, that's good. Now let's go to Jeremiah 14:14. We're going to make a comparison with that. We know what it says in the King James. So in the King James, it says, then Yah said to me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spoken to them. They prophesy unto you false vision and divination and a thing of naught, and the deceit of their heart. That's Jeremiah 14:14. So Bible in basic English says, Yah said to me, the prophets have say false words in my name, and I give them no orders. And I said nothing to them. What they say to you is false vision and wonder working words. Without substance, the deceit of their hearts, right? Okay, now, CEV says, Yah answered, they claim to speak for me, but they're lying. I didn't even speak to them, much less choose them to be my prophets. Their messages come from worthless dreams, useless fortune telling, and their own imaginations. Oh my, I like that CEV. He kind of brings it home. Let me read that one more time. Yah answered, they claim to speak for me, but they are lying. I didn't even speak to them, much less choose them to be my prophets. Their messages come from worthless dreams, useless fortune telling, and their own imaginations. Oh my, my, my. Yeah, that is graphic. Would you say? All right, let's look at the ERV. And Yah said to me, Jeremiah, or Yirmiyahu, those prophets are telling lies in my name. I did not send them or command them to speak to them. Their prophecies came from false visions, worthless magic, and their own wishful thinking. Oh man, a lie, huh? That was even more graphic. Their prophecies came from false visions, worthless magic, and their own wishful thinking. That's the ERV version. I like that. I love it. 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 All right, now let's continue. This is getting good to my shundo. I feel it in my shundo. All right. Young says, Yah has said unto me, listen, falsehood, the prophets are prophesying in my name. So he says falsehood, the prophets are prophesying in his name. They're prophets, in other words, they're prophesying falsehood in his name. right? I did not send them, nor command them, nor have I spoken unto them. A false vision and divination and vanity and the deceit of their own hearts, they are prophesying to you. Oh my. That took it over. That took it out the water right there. Young's literal translation. Let's read it again. Y'all said unto me, falsehood, the prophets are prophesying in my name. I did not send them, nor command them, nor have I spoken unto them. A false vision and divination and vanity and deceit of their own heart, they are prophesying to you. What you gonna do with that? You gonna rip that up out your Bible? Somebody said, brother, what was that? That was Jeremiah 14:14 in the Young Literal Translation. Oh man alive. Woo! The Most High is not playing with these false prophets. He's giving you a space to repent, right? Has it ever dawned on you why your prophecy didn't come to pass? You've been getting over all these years manipulating people, raking in the money from people with your prophecies. Now the Most High shuts you down. Now you got a lot of repenting to do, explaining to do, or you can continue to try to cover your tracks. That's what these so-called prophets are doing, trying to cover the tracks. Instead of repenting and saying, "Yah, we've been manipulating and making filthy lucre out of your people. We've been making merchandise of your people. Now we have to come clean," right? Benny Hinn came clean, didn't he? All right, now. So that was 14:14. All right, now. 23:14. This is Jeremiah 23:14. We're going to go back to Jeremiah 23:14. So 23 and 14, right? And let's see. So it says, I have seen also the prophets of Jerusalem, an horrible thing. They commit adultery and walk in lies and strengthen also the hands of the evildoers, and none of them return from his wickedness. They are all of them unto me as Sodom and inhabitant of Gomorrah, right? So 14 says, and in the prophets of Jerusalem have I seen a shocking thing. He's talking about the prophets now. They are untrue to their wives, walking in deceit. Some of these wives, look at some of these so-called prophets' wives when they get up there and call themselves speaking for Yah. They tell the whole story. Next time somebody get up prophets, I look at their wife. A picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So BBE says, the Bible in basic English says that they are untrue to their wives, walking in deceit. They make strong the hands of evildoers, so that a man may not be turned back from his evil doing. They all have become like Sodom to me, and its people like Gomorrah, right? Now, I'm going to skip some of those other versions. Let's go all the way down. Let's see, because everybody knows Younger Literal Translation. That's why I like to read that one. And in the prophets of Jerusalem, I have seen a horrible thing, committing adultery, walking falsely. Yes, they strengthen the hands of evildoers, so that they have not turned back each from his wickedness. They have been to me, all of them, as Sodom, and his inhabitants as Gomorrah. So we're not just talking about homosexuality. We're talking about breaking the law of Yah, all of the laws, right? Not just keeping the ones that you like, but you talking about all, they had broken all the laws, right? All right, so that's Jeremiah 23:14. All right, I'm just about where I left off at. I think it was 29 and 9. Okay, so let's see. Let's skip through a couple of these real quick. Okay, I'm going to kind of look at these ones I already read, and I want to see which one I want to look at, the comparison version, because I like to get graphic sometimes, right? Okay. Let's look at 23 and 16, Jeremiah 23:16. So let's go to Jeremiah 23:16. Oh, we're right there at 14. So let's go to 16, right? All right, 16 says, okay, just for the sake of it, the English says, Thus says Yah of hosts, hearken not to the words of the prophets. They prophesy to you. They make you vain. They speak a vision of their own heart and not out of the mouth of Yah. Okay, so that's verse 16, 23, Jeremiah 23, 16, Bible in Basic English says, this is what Yah of armies has said. Do not give ear to the words which the prophets say to you. They give you teaching of no value. It is from themselves that their visions comes and not out of the mouth of Yah, right? Let's go down to CEV. Do not listen to the lies of these false prophets. You people of Judah, the message they preach is something they imagined. It did not come from me, Yah all-powerful. ERV says, this is what Yah all-powerful says. Don't pay attention to what those prophets are saying to you. They are trying to fool you. They talk about visions, but they did not get their visions from me. Their visions come from their own minds. Okay? Now, let's go down to Young's. Thus saith Yah of hosts, you do not hearken to the words of those prophets who are prophesying to you. They are making you vain things. A vision of their own heart they speak, not from the mouth of Yah. Okay? So that's Jeremiah 23:16. You're going to like this one here. Skip down to 25, right? So go to Jeremiah 23 and 25. We're going to do the comparison again. For the sake of it, 23 says, I heard what the prophet said, that prophesy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed, right? How long shall this be in the heart of the prophet that prophesy lies? Yes, they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart. Okay, that's 26, 27. Which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which every man tells his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. Okay, now I gotta do this here. Let's do this here. Let's read the Bible in basic English, right? So this is verse 25. We're going to read it down to verse 32. All right. So we're going to go to the BBE version, right? Okay. And we're going to read it down. So the BBE version, and then we can go to the Bible. It says, my ears have been open to the prophets. My ears have been open to what the prophets have said. Okay, this is BBE. This is Jeremiah 23:25. Who say false words in my name, saying, I have had a dream. I have had a dream. I had a dream. I had a dream. Oh, I had a dream. Isn't that what they do? They get on the camera. Matter of fact, they don't have no dream. YouTube has made it possible for the lying prophets to come forth. Right? Everybody's having a dream. People subscribe to their channel. While they're talking about their dream, people sending them money, right? Isn't that what it is, right? But he said, they say, I have had a dream. I have had a dream, right? I have had a dream 3 times, right? Is my word in the hearts of those prophets who give you false words, even the prophets of the deceit of their own hearts, whose purpose is to take away the memory of my name from my people by their dreams. See that? They don't want you calling on the name of Yah. They substituted that name with another name, right? But they have taken away my name from the memory of they have taken the memory of my name from my people by the dreams, of which every man is talking to his neighbor, as their father gave up the memory of my name for Baal. So who is Baal or Baal? Lord. Give us a call, 443-480-3116. Lord is Baal. All right. Verse 28. If a prophet has a dream, let him give out his dream, and he who has a word, let him give out my word in good faith. What has the dry stem to do with the green, says Yah? Is not my word like fire, says Yah, and like a hammer smashing the rock of bits? For this cause, verse 30, I am against the prophets, says Yah, who take my words, everyone from his neighbor. See, I am against the prophets, says Yah, who let their tongues say, he has said. See, isn't that what they say? He said, thus saith the Lord, right? That's what he's saying. He's against the prophets who said he says, right? Verse 32. See, this is the Bible in basic English version. See, I am against the prophets of false dreams, says Yah, who give them out to make my people go out of the way by their deceit and their uncontrolled words. Oh, my. Oh, everybody get all spooktified. They think, oh, that person's anointed. Did you know the Most High spoke about them in this book? We're reading it right now, right? So they make my people go out of the way by their deceits and their uncontrolled words, but I did not send them nor give them orders, and they will be of no profit to this people, says Yah. Verse 33 says, and if this people or the prophet or the priest question you, says, what word of weight is there from Yah? Then you are to say to them, you are the word, for I will not be troubled with you anymore, says Yah. 34 says, and for the prophet and the priest and the people who say the word is weight from Yah, I will send punishment on that man and on his house. But this is what you are to say, every man to his neighbor and every man to his brother. What answers Yah giveth, and what has Yah said? And you will no longer put people in mind of my word of weight of Yah. I have a burden from the Lord. As when they say, I got a burden, right? For every man's words will be a weight on himself. For the words of the living Elohim of the Yah of armies, our Elohim, have been twisted by you. This is what you are to say to the prophet. What answer has Yah given you? And what has Yah said? But if you say the word of weight of Yah, this is what Yah has said, because you say the weight of Yah, the burden of the Lord, right? And I have sent you to say, you are not to say the weight of Yah. For this reason, truly, I will put you completely out of my memory, and I will put you and the town which I gave to you and your fathers away from before my face. And I'll give you a name without honor forever, and unending shame, which will never go from the memory of men. See that? So the Most High is not playing, brothers and sisters, with these lying, deceiving prophets who prophesy for gain, right? All right, now, so that was Jeremiah 23, almost the whole chapter, right? Dealing with false prophets, right? So now let's go to 29. 29 and 8. So Jeremiah 29 and 8. Let's go there real quick. All right, Jeremiah 29 and 8. Okay, let's do the comparison. 29 and 8 says, for thus saith Yah of hosts, Elohim of Israel, let not your prophets and your diviners and be in the midst of you deceive you, neither hearken to your dreams which you shall cause to be dreamed. For they prophesy falsely to you in my name. I have not sent them, says Yah. So that's 29 and 8 and 9. BBE says, for this is what Yah army said. Do not let yourself be tricked by the prophets who are among you and the readers of signs, and give no attention to their dreams which they may have, right? All right, let's go to Young's, and then we're going to go to the next verse. Well, thus saith Yah of hosts, Elohim of Israel, let not your prophets who are in the midst of you and your diviners lift you up, nor hearken you unto their dreams that you are causing them to dream. See, you are causing those false prophets to dream these dreams through your prayers, through your witchcraft. The real true spirit of Jezebel is controlled. It has nothing to do with a woman who's loud, or a woman who has a strong personality. All right. So that was Jeremiah 29:9. All right. Now let's go to Lamentations. Right. This is the Most High had a whole lot to say in this book about prophets, lying prophets. Right. So this is Lamentations 2:14. It says, "Thy prophets have seen vain, foolish things of thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity, to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for these false burdens and cause of banishment." So BBE version says, the visions which your prophets have seen for you are false and foolish. That's like something I would say. Let me read it again. The visions which your prophets have seen for you are false and foolish. They have not made clear to you your sin, so that your fate might be changed. But they have seen you for false words, driving you away. Right? Now, CEV says your prophets deceive you with false visions and lying messages. Oh my mercy. They should have warned you to leave your sins and to be saved from disaster. Right? ERV says your prophets saw visions for you, but their visions were only worthless lies. Oh, that hurts, right? Your prophets saw visions for you, but their visions were only worthless lies. They didn't speak against your sins. They didn't try to make things better. They spoke messages for you, but they were false messages that fooled you. Have you been fooled by some of these false prophets? Right? All right, let's go down to the Youngs. Young says the prophets have seen for thee a false and insipid thing. And have not revealed concerning thine iniquity, to turn back thy captivity. They see for thee false burdens and cause of expulsion. So America's coming, revival's coming to America. He gonna overturn. He should be overturning the wickedness out your heart. You worried about who's in the White House, when you should be worried about who's in Yah's house. Are you in Yah's house? Who shall dwell in thy tabernacle? Who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy set apart hill? He who walk upright, right? ... You go read it, right? All right, so that's Lamentations. Man alive. That's some hot stuff there. Did you know that was in the book? All right, Ezekiel 12:24. I'm going an hour and 30 minutes, and I'm telling you, and I'm not done. I got a few more pages here. I'm gonna try to hasten though. All right. Ezekiel 12:24. I'll read this one here. For there shall be no more vain vision of flattering divination within the house of Israel. That's Ezekiel 12:24. 25 says, for I am Yahweh, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall be no more prolonged, for in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word and will perform it, says the Master Yah. Right? So the Most High said he will perform it. Right? All right. That's Ezekiel 12:25. Okay. Let's look at, I gotta see what the comparisons say. So that's 12:25 Ezekiel. So let's go to Ezekiel 12:25. All right. Let's see what 12:25. Let's see what the comparisons say. This is BBE says, for I am Yah. I will say the word, and what I say I will do. I will not be put off for your days, O uncontrolled people. I will say the word and do it. says Yah. Okay. CEV says, I will give them my message, and what I say will certainly happen. Warn those rebels that the time has come for them to be punished. I, Yahweh, make this promise. He makes a promise. All right. ERV says, that's because I am Yah, and if I say something will happen, it will happen. I will not wait any longer. Those troubles are coming soon in your own lifetime. Hear me, you people who always refuse to obey. When I say something, I make it happen. That is what Yah Elohim said, right? Let's go down to Young's, and Young's says it on this wise. For I am Yah, I speak. The word that I speak, it is done. It is not prolonged anymore. For in your days, O rebellious house, I speak a word and I have done it. An affirmation of Yah Elohim. Okay. So that's Ezekiel 12:25. Now, this is the one I want right here. Right. So we're going to read this. This is Ezekiel 13, right? Let's go over here. I'm gonna get it lined up here. Get it in the dugout. Get 13:1 Ezekiel. All right. Now, it says, the word of Yah came to me saying, Son of man, prophesy against Israel that prophesy, and say thou unto them that prophesy out of their own hearts. Hear ye the word of Yah. So the question you got to ask is, your favorite prophet, are they prophesying out of their own heart, or are they prophesying what Yah says? And if they're prophesying what Yah says, then you can see what Yah says in his written word, because the written word was first a spoken word that was written down, and we have it in 66 books. See how that works? So when we speak today, we are prophesying, proclaiming what the prophet spoke, bringing it up into our current time. That's what prophecy is, right? Speaking what the prophet said and bringing it to our current day, right? And Trump is not in the prophecy, I'm sorry, as president 46. Okay? So that's verse 2. Now let's go to verse 2 in the comparison. Okay. So verse 2 says in the BBE, Son of man, be a prophet against the prophets of Israel. Whoa. I like that. He says, be a prophet against the prophets. I signed up for that. Be a prophet against the prophets of Israel, and say to those prophets whose words are invention of their hearts. Oh man, that's graphic, isn't it? Give ear to the word of Yah. See, their words are an invention of their hearts. So they got together and said, what can we do to get these people's money? Keep prophesying hope to them. Keep encouraging them. Why do you think when you turn on YouTube, I always turn around, all those Trump prophets come back, I want to encourage you. That's one guy named Chris Yoon. I'm going to encourage you, right? He collecting. His channel blew up. People sending money to him. Look, I don't ask for money on my channel. And y'all know I can always use the money. I mean, I need money. I've been out of work for 2 years almost. But the reality of the matter is, and all due to COVID-19 and a false, the employer did some dirt, but that's another lesson. I digress. So he says that these prophets, their words are inventions of their own heart, right? Let's go to CEV. This is Ezekiel 13:2 in the CEV version. Ezekiel, son of man, condemn the prophets of Israel who say they speak in my name, who preach messages that come from their own imagination. Tell them it's time to hear my message. See that? That's what I've been saying. All these so-called prophets, Kuhneman, Kat Kerr, Douglas Sheets, that was on this video. What's his name? Timothy Dixon, Robin Bullock, and the list goes on. Those are just a few. Those are the ones that are kind of in the limelight right now. Those people are, he said, they're speaking messages that come from their own imagination. He said, condemn the prophets of Israel who say they speak in my name, but who preach messages that come from their own imagination. Tell them it's time to hear my word. They're preaching messages that come from their own imagination, right? And none of the stuff that they dream is coming to pass, especially that Timothy Dixon got. He done saw caskets and stuff in the White House and everything. It's crazy, right? But people follow that nonsense, right? We're going to get to that too. All right. So ERV says, son of man, you must speak to the prophets of Israel for me. They are only saying what they want to say. You must speak to them. Tell them this. Listen to this message from Yah. Right? Now, let's go down to Young's. Son of man, prophesy concerning the prophets of Israel who are prophesying that thou hast said to those prophesying from their own heart, hear the word of Yah. See that? So Young said they prophesied from their own heart, right? Verse 3 now, okay? Thus saith Yah, woe to the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. So read it again. He said, whoa, right? Whenever you see whoa, right? I mean, that's not good. That means death is usually coming. And you see that word woe, it means I had enough. But he says here, woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. So we got to look at that in the comparison version, right? So let's go to verse 3. And BBE said, this is what Yah said. A curse is on the foolish prophets that woe, right? Who go after the spirit which is in them and have seen nothing, right? CEV said, I, Yah, Elohim, say those lying prophets are doomed. See that? They don't see visions. They make up their own messages. They could go back. Okay, what am I going to say today? Okay. I'm going to rehearse what I'm going to say, right? All right. ERV says, this is what Yah says. Bad things will happen to you foolish prophets. You are following your own spirits. You are not telling people what you really see in visions. Okay. Go down to Young's. Young said, thus said Yah Elohim, woe to the prophets who are foolish, who are going after their own spirit, and they have seen nothing. You haven't seen nothing. That's what he's saying. I don't care how loud and forceful you speak. Your eyes can go in the back of your head. He said, they have seen nothing. I hear, or I see. They see and they hear, right? He said, they haven't seen nothing. Seeing is hearing, right? All right, so that's what, verse 3. All right, verse 6. They have seen vanity and lying divination, saying, Yah says, and Yah have not sent them, and they have made others to hope that they would confirm the word. Oh my, oh my, oh me, oh my. That's Ezekiel, Yekeskel 13 and 6. You know we got to go to the comparison versions, right? So let's do it. Let's go over here to 13 and 6. And BBE says, they have seen visions without substance. and made use of secret arts, who say, Yah has said. So in other words, they have made use of secret art. They have been in the school of prophets, have been trained how to mislead and to manipulate and to deceive and to trick the masses to get that money. Yah said, he said, you have seen the visions without substance and made use of secret arts, who say, Yah has said. Thus saith the Lord. Right? Isn't that what they say? And Yah has not sent them, hoping that the word would have effect. See that? So they give me this word, hoping that you would be so gullible and open that whatever they say to you, you would embrace it as a truth, right? All right. CEV said the prophets lie, claiming they speak for me, but I have not even chosen them to be my prophets. And they still think their words will come true. How about that? They still think their words will come true, right? All right, now let's look at the ESV. Says they have seen false visions and lying divinations. They said, declares Yah, when Yah has not sent them, and yet they expect him to fulfill their word. Oh, my. Let's go down to Young's. They have seen vanity and lying divination, who are saying an affirmation of Yah. Yah have not sent them, and they have hoped to establish a word. They call declaring and decreeing. How many of y'all have heard that expression? We declare and decree it. You can declare and decree until your head falls off. If it doesn't line up with the word of Yah, it ain't happening. And if it does come to pass, guess what? You're still going to be judged. We read that already. Okay, now, so that's Ezekiel 13:6. All right, 7 says, have you not seen a vain vision? Have you not spoken a lying divination? Whereas you say, Yah said it, albeit I have not spoken. Oh, woo! Let's look at the comparison on that one. Okay, so that's verse 7, right? So go to verse 7, right? And it says, this is BBE. Have you not seen a vision without substance, and have you not falsely made use of secret arts? When you say, Yah has said that, though I have said nothing. See, there he talks about that arts again. You have made use of the secret arts, right? When you say, Yah said, though I have said nothing, right? CEV says they say they're preaching in my message, but they are full of lies. I did not speak to them, right? ERV says if you prophets saw visions, they were not true. And all you got from your magic was magic. Oof. And all you got from your magic was lies. So how can you say that Yah told you those things? I did not speak to you. I like that one. That's the ERV version. Okay, ESV says, have you not seen a false vision and uttering a lying divination? Whenever you have said, declares Yah, although I have not spoken. Okay, let's go down to Young's. Young says, a vain vision had ye not seen, and a lying divination spoken. When you say an affirmation of Yah, and I have not spoken. Right. So now what I want to offer is that I like the King James Version better on that, because that's even more graphic than, if that's such a word, that's even more graphic than the comparison version, because it's, read 7 again. You have not seen a vain vision. I'm sorry. Have you not seen a vain vision? And have you not spoken a lying divination? That's magic, right? Because BBE calls it magic, divination, right? Have you not spoken a lying divination? Whereas you say, Yah said it, albeit I have not spoken. He said, I haven't spoken, but you saying I said something. And he's sitting there looking at you like this lying wonder. I didn't say nothing to him. And the people is loving it, right? People love to have it. We're going to read that too, if I haven't read it already. Okay. So where we at? That was verse 7. Verse 8. Therefore thus says, do we look at that 7? Okay, verse 8. Therefore thus says the Master Yah, because you have spoken vanity and seen lies, therefore, behold, I am against you, says Master Yah. Likewise, this is verse 17. Let's read that. Let's read verse 8 in the comparisons, right? So let's go to verse 8. And BBE says, so this is what Yah has said, because your words are without substance and your visions are false. See, I am against you. Your words are without substance. So why would the words be without substance? Because you're not speaking the words of Yah. You're speaking your own words from your own heart, from your own imagination that you invented, right? CEV says, so I am going to punish those lying prophets for deceiving the people of Israel with false messages. Oh, wow. I'm going to punish those lying prophets for deceiving the people of Israel with false messages, right? ERV says, so now Yah really will speak. He says, you told lies. You saw visions that were not true. So now I am against you. This is what Yah said, right? Let's go down to Young's. Therefore, thus saith Yah, because you have spoken vanity and seen a lie, therefore, lo, I am against you, an affirmation of Yah, right? So that's what the Most High said. So that is what? That is your Cascale 13 and 8. Now, 13, 17 says, I'll read it here. If I want to go and look at it in a comparison, I will. Let's just read it. Likewise, son of man, set thy face against the daughters of my people, which prophesy out of their own heart, and prophesy thou against them. So he said they prophesy out of their own heart. So it's not just the men that's doing it, it's the daughters, he said, the daughters of the people. Now they got into it. They're going into the falsehood of prophet lying, saying, prophesying things out of their own heart and having dreams and conjuring up dreams of their own accord. And speaking to the masses of people to do what? Make money. Kind of like the lady who was that had great gain during the days of Shaul. She had a spirit of divination. She was making money. It's the same thing, brothers and sisters. Nothing has changed. I'm not going to read that passage for the sake of time because I've already gone almost 2 hours into this video, right? This is intended to be short, but the Most High had a lot to say about these false prophets, right? All right, so that's 13 and 8. Okay, 17. So the daughters, verse 22, Ezekiel 13:22, because with lies you have made the heart of the righteous sad, whom I have not made sad, and strengthened the hands of the wicked, that he should not turn from his wicked way by promising him life. Did you hear that? I got to read that one in the comparison version. So let's go to 13:22. All right, let's look at the BBE and let's look at the Young's Little translation. So 22, and because with your false words you have given pain to the heart of the upright man, and I had not made him sad, in order to make strong the hands of the evildoer, so that you may not be turned, so that he may not be turned from his evil way and get life. Okay, let's go down to Young's. Because of a painting of heart of righteousness with falsehood, and I have not pained it, and strengthening the hands of the wicked, so as not to turn back from his evil ways to keep him alive, right? Okay, so that's what 22. 23 says, therefore you shall see no more vanity nor divine divinations, for I will deliver my people out of your hand, and you shall know that I am Yah. Okay, Ezekiel 14:7 says, for every one of the house of Israel, of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, which separate himself from me, and setteth up idols in his heart, and putteth the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face, and cometh to a prophet to inquire of him concerning me, I, Yahweh, will answer him myself. So you're going to these false prophets to get a word. They're giving you stuff that's going to tickle your ear. The Most High said, I'm going to answer you directly, right? So now, Ezekiel 14:9 says, and if a prophet be deceived when he has spoken a thing, I, Yah, have deceived that prophet. Oh, so in other words, you're deceived because the Most High deceived you. Let's read it again. If a prophet be deceived when he has spoken a thing, I, Yah, have deceived that prophet, and I will stretch out my hand upon him and will destroy him from the midst of my people Israel. So now let's look at 14:9, Ezekiel 14:9, and in the comparison. So we go to Ezekiel 14, right, and verse 9. We're going to pull it up. And the BBE says, and if a prophet tricked by deceit says anything, it is I. If a prophet tricked by deceit says anything, it is I, Yah, by whom he has been tricked. And I will put out my hand against him, and he will be cut off from among my people. So that's what's happened. The chickens have come home to roost, right? Most High has allowed you to prophesy all these years and be accurate, but now, right, judgment is knocking at your door. That's why he allowed this prophecy to fail. All right. Now, CEV says the prophet gives a false message. I am the one who causes the prophet to lie, but I will still reject him and cut him off from my people. Right. Young says what? And the prophet, when he is enticed and have spoken a word, I, Yah, I have enticed the prophet and have stretched out my hand against him and have destroyed him from the midst of my people Israel. So that's Ezekiel 14:9. All right. Ezekiel 14:9. And 14:10 says, they shall bear the punishment of the iniquity. Punishment of the prophet shall even be even as the punishment of him that seeketh unto him. Right. So Ezekiel 22:28 says, her prophets have daubed them with untempered mortar, seeing vanity and divining lies unto himself. Thus saith the Master Yah, when Yah has not spoken. Let's look at that. That's 22 and 28. That's Ezekiel 22 and 28. So we go to Ezekiel, right? 22 and 28. We're going to look at the BBE version, right? It says, and her prophets have been using whitewash, seeing foolish visions. I can't help but laugh because these translations are graphic. I mean, I couldn't have said it better. I'm speaking the words of these translators. I don't have to even say it. And her prophets have been using whitewashed, seeing foolish visions, and making false use of secret arts, saying, this is what Yah has said when Yah has said nothing. All right. Let's read Brenton's just for the sake of her prophets. This is the Brenton's version. Brenton, Brenton. Her prophets that daub them shall fall, that see vanities, that prophesy falsehoods, saying, thus saith Yah, when Yah has not spoken. CEV says, and then the prophets of Israel cover up these sins by giving false visions. The prophets in Israel cover up these sins by giving false visions. I have never spoken to them, but they lie and say they have a message from me. See, the Most High knew that in the last day, it was going to be a whole lot of people on YouTube saying, thus saith the Lord. And the Most High said, I didn't send them. I ain't speaking to them. I haven't given them a word. I've deceived them. Right? ERV says the prophets don't warn the people. They cover up the truth. Oh. They are like workers who don't really repair a wall, and they only put plaster over the holes. They only see lies They do their magic to learn the future. Oh, man. But they only tell lies. They say this is what Yah said, but they are only lying. Yah did not speak to them. That's the ERV version. That is like hot off the press, right? Oh my, man, I tell you. So let's read the ESV. This is one of the hottest prophecies here. This one right here is so graphic. Her prophets have smeared whitewash for them, seeing false visions and divining lies for them, saying, thus says Yah, when Yah has not spoken. All these verses, they agree. They tell you that these lying prophets is lying through their teeth, saying Yah said, and Yah hadn't said nothing to them. Absolutely nothing. Is it nothing from nothing leaves nothing, right? Young says, and its prophets have daubed for them and chalk, seeing a vain thing, and divining for them a lie, saying, thus says Yah, and Yah have not spoken. So they all agree, right? That was Ezekiel 22 and 28, or Yechezkel 22 and 28, right? So all the prophets basically are saying the same thing. I think I'm almost at the end. Yeah, I'm almost at the end. Okay, let's continue, because this is some stuff. This is 2 hours worth of just reading. I haven't even did a lesson. I just reading what the Most High said through the mouth of the prophets in comparison to versions to show you that we're in the last days where all these false prophets is coming forth, right? All right, now, what was that? 22 and 28, Ezekiel 22, 28. Now, let's look at this one here. You're going to love this one. This one here, you got to mark in your book. And you got to send it to all your friends. Send it to them prophets. This is Micah 3 and 11. Everybody knows about Micah 3, right? But they don't know about this one here. So let's go to Micah 3 and 11, or Micaiah 3 and 11. Mikiyahu. 3 and 11. He said, brother, stop speaking in tongue. All right, I will. You got me on that one. All right. This light is blinding me. So, okay, let me I'm having fun because see, people don't read the Bible. This stuff is in the Bible. You don't even have to even get mad at people. You just read the Bible and it's just those people that once they see these verses in there, they're like, man, oh, that's in the Bible. Yes. Well, dust off of that Bible and read it. Stuff in there that'll save your life, right? Keep you from falling prey to these predators, right? Spiritual predators, right? The Most High gave someone permission to deceive the masses because you don't want the truth, right? So what I say, Micaiah, I'm gonna read it from here first, then we can do a comparison, right? All right, 3:11 says, y'all ain't ready for this. You ready for this? Okay. The heads thereof judge for reward. The leaders' heads judge for reward, right? I'm gonna read the graphic version. We're gonna go into the comparisons and show you that they all say the same thing, but some of them bring it out more than others, right? Okay. The heads therefore judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. This is a King James version. The King James. That's in the King James. The priests, let me read it again, because somebody don't believe me. Said, brother, a trick Bible. It's in the King James version, brother. All right, hold on a second. Let's prove a point real quick. All right, what I say, Micaiah. We're in Micaiah 3 and 11, right? All right, hold on a second. I got my 3 and 11, okay? All right. It's got the Strong's numbers in it. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay. All right, so let's see. It says here, the heads therefore judge for reward. The priests thereof teach for hire. The prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon Yah and say, is not Yah among us? None evil can come upon us. I'm not making this up. The Most High knew that your false prophet, Hank Kuhneman, was going to be on the internet of get Greg Locke. Ding, 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 winner, chicken dinner. That's what he said in one of his videos. Trump's going to win 100%, 100%. Yeah, the Most High got your card. All every last one of y'all. He said what? The heads there. Well, I haven't got to the other versions to compare. This is King James, straight King James, no chaser, right? The heads thereof judge for reward. The priests thereof teach for hire. The prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon Yah and say, it is not Yah among us. None evil can come upon us. In other words, let me unpack it for you, and then we're going to read a comparison. They're basically saying, right, the heads, the leaders, ordained elders, the teachers, Sunday school teachers, you name it. They all do what? They teach, they judge for reward. You got the board, you have the judicial board in most churches. You got the governing body of the churches. They judge for reward, right? They go, and he said the priests, the preachers teach for hire, right? Preachers, evangelists do it for hire. And he says the prophets, therefore, divine, give you a word for money. Have a line. The black church is a little different than the white churches. They have a line going out the door. Ask for $1,000. During the pandemic. Imagine that, right? So, yet they will lean upon Yah and say, Yah is among us. He's hands on me. My words is accurate. I'm an accurate prophet, right? And he says, and they say, none evil will come upon us. Well, guess what? Is knocking at your door right now because you refuse to what? Submit to what? Yah's law, statutes, commandments, and his word, and teach Yah's people to obey. Matthew 5. All right, now I gotta look at the comparison verses because I want to see what my other brothers and sisters had to say about this. So BBE says, its heads take rewards for judging, and the priests take payment for teaching, and the prophet gets silver for reading the future. But still, supporting themselves on Yah, they say, is not Yah among us? No evil will overtake us, right? All right, Brenton says the heads thereof judge for gifts, and the priests thereof have answered for hire, and her prophets have divined for silver. And yet they have rested on Yah, saying, is not Yah among us? No evil shall come upon us, right? All right, CEV says, you leaders accept bribes for dishonest decisions. Oh, I like that. That's even better. You leaders accept bribes for dishonest decisions. You priests and prophets, he clumps them together, teach and preach, but only for money. Oh, he said the prophets and the priests preach only for money. Then you say Yah is on our side, no harm will come to us. I guess not. You going to people's pocket. ERV says the judges in Israel accept bribes to help them decide who wins in court. Sounds familiar, right? The priests in Jerusalem must be paid before they will teach the people. People must pay the prophet before they will look into the future. Then those leaders expect Yah to help them. They say, Yah lives here with us, so nothing bad will happen to us, right? All right. Let's read ESV. It says its heads give judgment for bribe. Its priests teach for price. Its prophets practice divination for money. Ooh, how you like that one? Yet they lean on Yah and say, is not Yah in the midst of us? No disaster shall come upon us, right? Now, let's go down to Young's. Oh, wait a minute. I see something here. Okay, this is GNB. Now, what is the GNB version? I got to go back, but GN Good News, maybe Good News Bible? Okay, could be. I'm not sure, but it says the city's rulers govern for bribes. The priests interpret the law for pay. The prophets are given their revelations for money. And they all claim that Yah is with them. No harm will come to us. They say Yah is with us. That's what they say, right? All right, let's go down to Young. Young says, her heads for a bribe do judge, and her priests for hire do teach, and her prophets for silver divine, and on Yah they lean, saying, is not Yah in our midst, evil does not come upon us. So that's Micah 3:11. If you've never read that before, boy, I'm telling you, it's like a shocker the first time seeing that, right? All right, now. You're going to like this one here. This is another one you probably never read before, too. This is Zephaniah, Zephaniah, Z-E-P-H, Zephaniah or Zephaniah. And chapter 3, verse 4, right? So let's go to Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 4. All right. It reads here. Her prophets are light and treacherous. Oh, man. her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law. Now, what is the violence to the law? To tell people we don't have to keep the law. We're under grace, right? That's the violence to the law. Now, we're going to read the comparisons. See what they have to say about it. So, BBE, Bible in Basic English, says her prophets are good for nothing persons. Oh my, I like that. Oh, he said the prophets are good for nothing persons, full of deceit. Her priests have made the set apart places unclean and have gone violently against the law. Yeah, I mean, Creflo Dollar he used to teach against the law big time. I mean, you ever stop wondering why COVID-19 came? I know you believe it was created by the deep state. If it was created by the deep state, y'all permitted it, right? To clean up the house. A lot of people lost their lives during this time. A lot of people are fearful during this time. You know what? If it's your time to go and y'all got your number, ain't nothing you can do. Vaccination all you want. Y'all wants repentance is what he's calling for. Laying on the hand, casting out the devil of COVID-19. COVID will go away when I'm gonna give you a prophecy. When sin is no longer practiced in this nation, COVID will go. When sin is no longer practiced globally, COVID will go. Because vaccination will not convert your heart. See, we have more concern about preserving our soul, our body, I should say, rather, than our spirit, man, or our soul, right? But I'm not going to get off into a lesson. I digress, okay? So now, Brenton says in Zephaniah 3:4, her prophets are light and scornful men. Her priests profane the set apart things and sinfully transgress the law. That's Brenton's words, not mine. I mean, they are mine too, but I mean, I got them from the book. All right. You keep on disobeying the Most High, you can get all spookified and feel like you got the Holy Ghost, and that means nothing to him. He's not caught up in emotions. Only people caught up in emotions. He requires a broken and contrite spirit. That's what he requires. Brokenness. Right? People don't want to be broken no more. Everybody wants to be led. They want to be able to do what they want to do. Do what they're big enough to do, right? All right, so let's continue. So now, the CEV version says, Jerusalem's prophets are proud and not to be trusted. The priests have disgraced the place of worship and abused Yah's law, right? ERV says, prophets are always making secret plans to get more and more. Her priests have treated set apart things as if they were not set apart. They have done bad things to Yah's teachings, right? ESV says, her prophets are fickle. Treacherous men, her priests profane what is set apart. They do violence to the law, right? Young says, her prophets, unstable men of treachery. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary and they have violated the law. They violate the law by teaching against it, right? Okay, so that's Zephaniah. Zephaniah. Now we're going to go to his twin brother, Zechariah. Somebody said, brother, I didn't know Zephaniah and Zechariah were twin brothers. They could have been. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know if they were twin brothers. No, I just said that. It sounded good, right? Because they both had names with Z's, right? I mean, I mean, who knows? Zephaniah, Zechariah, they could have been twin brothers. I don't know. I'm not telling you something that I've studied and found out, but it sounds kind of good though. Zephaniah and Zechariah, they could have been twins. If somebody did some research on that and you find out that they were twins, please let me know. I would like to, because that just came fresh out my mouth. So I don't know. They could have been. Who knows? I don't know. Were they the same age period? Were they the same generation? I don't know. All right, but it sounds good, right? Isn't that what y'all like? Something that sounds good? Yeah. Brother said Zephaniah and Zechariah were twins. Don't you say that. I'm just messing around, having fun, right? Okay, I don't know that for a fact. I just thought it was kind of interesting. But anyway, let me get back. I went meddling, quit preaching and went meddling, right? All right, I've been meddling the whole time, but mind you. I've been meddling the whole time. Let me get back. All right, so 100 years from now, I doubt the world will be here 100 years from now. I mean, in this particular stage, let's just say 20 years from now, if the Messiah hasn't returned and you stumble across this video, just remember, I was a rare teaching this. I'm not teaching for money. You know, y'all gave me strength and health, and I'm not going to go under as long as I got my health and strength, right? If I have to plant a vineyard and sell produce. All right, so Zechariah chapter 10. You're going to love this one, right? I put all the comparisons down. I don't have to print this one out. All right, so let's read the King James Version. It reads this wise: for the idols have spoken vanity, and the diviners have seen a lie, and have told false dreams. They comfort in vain. Oh my. They comfort in vain. Therefore they went their way as a flock. They were troubled because there was no shepherd. So let me reiterate. He said, the diviners have seen a lie. The prophets have seen a lie. Kat Kerr going to heaven. She claims she saw the Father and the Son in heaven. And she saw Elvis Presley. She saw her father in heaven. She saw Whitney Houston in heaven. She saw lying, just straight up lying. And the people sitting there, oh, really? They got dog fights in heaven. They have amusement parks in heaven. Oh, they to Google her and listen to her. It was crazy. She's on some good stuff, man. Unbelievable. Okay, let me get back. Our BBE says, for the images have said what is not true. The readers of signs have seen deceit. So he calls them readers of signs. They have given accounts of false dreams. They have given comfort to no purpose. So they go out the way like sheep. They are troubled because they have no keeper. All right. Now, let me bring this up over here so you all can see with me. Okay. Zechariah 10. All right. Okay. Hey, somebody's called me while I'm doing my recording. I'll pick it up. Okay, now. Okay, so the CEV version, I'm sorry, let me get up. 2 and 2 and 10 and 2, right? Okay. So we're reading the CEV version, right? You can't believe idols and fortune tellers, or depend on the hope you receive from witchcraft and interpreters of dreams. Oh man, that's heavy, isn't that heavy? But you have tried all of these, and now you are like sheep without a shepherd. See, let me bring that home, okay? All these prophets of Trump that prophesied 4 more years, Trump is going to be 2021. The clock is ticking. What you going to do when 2021 ends? What you going to say then? All right. So that's what happened. He says all of their witchcraft and interpreters of dreams. Said you depend on, you can't believe idols or fortune tellers, or depend on the hope you receive from witchcraft and interpreters of dreams. But you have tried all of these, and now you are like sheep without a shepherd. That's what it is. So that's why they keep pushing this, because their life is on it. Their life is at stake. Their livelihood is at stake. They prophesy, and they've been accurate with the prophecy, so they hear them tell it. But this one here is obvious. See, you can manipulate those other prophecies that they made that didn't come to pass. But this one here is obvious. All right. I got another version I don't have on here. I got the WEB. Okay. For the teraphim have spoken vanity, and the diviners have seen a lie. They have told false dreams. They comfort in vain. Oh, Brother Chris Yoon, let me encourage you. They comfort in vain, right? He said they comfort in vain. Therefore, they go their way like sheep. They are oppressed, right? All right, now, so I got a couple. I got the ERB that I didn't cover. So we skipped from CEV. Okay, so I didn't get the ERV. The ERV says people use their little statues and magic to learn what will happen in the future. Huh? Let me read that again. People use their little statues and magic to learn what will happen in the future. But that is useless. They see visions and tell about their dreams, but it is nothing but worthless lies. So the people are like sheep wandering here and there, crying for help, but there is no shepherd to lead them, right? ESV says, for the household goods utter nonsense, and the diviners see lies. The prophets, diviners, see lies. They tell false dreams. and give empty consolation. That's the encouragement, right? And thousands of people continue to watch their videos every day for encouragement. Therefore, the people wander like sheep. They are afflicted for lack of a shepherd. Okay. So let's do the G and B. People consult idols and fortune tellers, but the answer they get are lies and nonsense. Some interpret dreams, but only mislead you. The comfort they give is useless. So the people wander about like lost sheep. They are in trouble because they have no leader, right? So that's the end of that. Now I believe with these here. Somebody said, brother, you read all of my Old Testament prophecies. We're not in the Old Testament. That's your problem. You're not in the Old Testament. Should be. If you was, then you would know those prophecies spoke about these lying prophets, lying wonders. Right? They love to have it. So let me see. I didn't read that one, did I? Did I read that one? Hold on a second. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, I thought I read that one. No, I didn't read that one. I think Jeremiah 5. How did I miss that one? It's one of my favorite ones there. I don't think I read Jeremiah 5. Let me go back. I got them in order here. Okay. Let's see, Jeremiah 5. Let me see. No, I read 6, but not 5. So we're going to read 5. And I'm going to show you these last 3 verses. We're going to close this video out. We've gone almost 2.5 hours on this video, right? So you're going to have to go through this piece by piece, right? All right. So 5, Jeremiah 5, it says, let's bring it up on the screen. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means. And my people love to have it so. And what will you do in the end thereof? Right? So that's Jeremiah 5, right? And 31. BBE says the prophets give false words. Oh, I had a dream. And they go into convulsions and the eyes go in the back of their head. I had a dream. Oh. They start shaking. Y'all know they do it, right? Y'all think the more weird a person is, the more they into it. Yeah. The prophets give false words. The priests give decisions by their direction. And my people are glad to have it so. And what will you do in the end? Prophets, Brenton says, the prophets utter unrighteous prophecies, and the priests have clapped their hands. And wait a minute. That's heavy. The prophets utter unrighteous prophecies, right? And the pastors clap their hands. Why? Because you see that money coming, right? What was that other prophecy about the money? It was in Micah, right? 3 and 11, right? The heads therefore judge for reward. The priests thereof teach for hire. The prophets divine for money. So he nailed it, right? So he says the prophets are utter unrighteous prophecy. The prophets utter unrighteous prophecies, and the priests have clapped their hands. So in other words, they approve that prophet who's prophesying unrighteous prophecies, right? Everybody's getting ready to get blessed. America get ready to become great. America's gonna become great again. I'm just saying. So that's the BBE. No, that was Brenton. Now CEV says prophets give their messages in the name of a false deity. My priests don't want to serve me, and you, my own people, like it this way. But on the day of disaster, where will you turn for help? ERV says the prophets tell lies. The priests will not do what they were chosen to do, and my people love it this way. Prophets tell lies. Priests will not do what they were chosen to do, and my people love it this way. They love it. They love for the prophet to probably lie in the passage to just go along with it. Yeah, he's our prophet. Right? Prophet. Right? All right. ESV says the prophets prophesy falsely. The priests rule at their direction. My people love to have it so, but what will you do when the end comes, right? GNB says the prophets speak nothing but lies. The priests rule as the prophets command. And the people offer no objections, but they will do when it comes. But what will they do when it all comes to an end? So the prophets speak nothing but lies. The priests rule as the prophets command. So they work in hand and glove, right? They clap their hand, right? Prophets out lie, the pastor clap their hand, they agree, people give money. You keep being broke while the prophet telling you give $1,000, like Rod Parsley, you giving and what? You're broke. You got nothing but wishful thinking, right? All right, let's go down to Young's. Young says the prophets have prophesied falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means. And my people have loved it so. And what do you do at the end? So the people love it. So they give people what they want, right? Itching ears, right? I think that's one of the New Testament. Itching ears. Let me see. I think is that one of my versions here. Let me see. Oh, it's right here. Okay, let me see. Itching ears. No, I don't have that one either. That's something. I'll read it. So he says, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but to their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. Right? Yeah, well, you want to know what the other versions say, right? BBE said, for the time will come when they will not take the true teaching, but moved by their desires, they will get for themselves a great number of teachers for the pleasure of hearing them. CEV says, the time is coming when people won't listen to good teaching. Instead, they will look for teachers who will please them by telling them only what they are itching to hear. ERV says, the time will come when people will not listen to the true teaching, but people will find more and more teachers who please them. They will find teachers who say what they want to hear. Isn't it? Okay. GNB says, the time will come when people will not listen to sound doctrine, but will follow their own desires and will collect for themselves more and more teachers who will tell them what they are itching to hear. Okay. And Young says, for there shall be a season when the sound teaching they will not suffer, but according to their own desires to themselves, they shall heap up teachers itching in the hearing. Say yeah. Yeah. Right? No. That's what they're talking about, right? All right, let me get ready to close out here. So Matthew 7 and 15 says, beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. I got to see the comparison to that. So let's go. What is it? Matthews 7:15. All right. Matthew 7:15. It says, be on the watch for false prophets. This is BBE. Who come to you in sheep clothing, but inside they are cruel wolves. CEV says, watch out for false prophets. They dress up like sheep, but inside they are wolves who have come to attack you. ERV says, be careful of false prophets. They come to you and look gentle like sheep. They look anointed. They look sainted, right? But they are really dangerous like wolves. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves, right? So that was so G&B says, the G Good News Bible says, be on guard against false prophets. They come to you looking like sheep on the outside, but on the inside, they are really like wild wolves. Okay. Let's read the Jubilees version. I never saw this one before. Keep yourself also from the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves, right? So Young's literal translation says, but take heed to the false prophets who come unto you in sheep's clothing and inwardly are ravening wolves. So they all kind of agree, right? So that's what the Messiah said, beware of false prophets. He calls them in the New Testament, right? Since you say, oh, brother, you just reading the Old Testament. We're reading some new ones now for you. How about that? All right. 2 Peter 1:19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well, that you take heed as unto light that shineth in dark place until the day dawn and the day star arise in your heart. He's talking about obeying, right? Obeying what? The new law, love. Love is not a new law. Love was given in the law. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, right? Thou shalt love Yah thy Elohim with all thy heart. That's in the book of the law in Leviticus. Okay. Now, 2 Peter 1:20 says, knowing this verse, that no prophecy of scripture is a private interpretation, right? So when you get up there, saying the Lord, he's gonna turn the house. That's a private interpretation. That's a personal word, right? 21 says, for prophecy came not in old time by the will of man. So in other words, you can't just jump up and start prophesying. But it said, but set apart men of Yah spoke as they were moved by the Spirit of Yah. All right, 2 Peter 2:1 says, but there were false prophets also among the people, even that there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies, even deny the master that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. So that's 2 Peter. Let's look at that second half of 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. Let's see what it says in the comparison versions. All right, if you made it this far in this video, I praise the Most High for your patience. A lot of people don't have the level of patience to watch a whole lesson, but that's why we had a problem today, because people don't want to read the Word of Yah. They want a fast food sermon. So the Most High has allowed people like us to read it, so we give you a lesson so you can watch the lesson and go through it, and you can make your notes and know, oh wow, that's in the Bible. Yes, it is. Right? So what I say, 2 Peter 2:1. Okay, 2 Peter 2:1. All right. So we're gonna read 2:1 and 2, and then you have one more verse after that, and that's gonna be it for this sharing. Okay. 1 Peter, it says, this is BBE. 2 Peter, I should say 2 and 1, or Shimon Keva. BBE version. But there were false prophets among the people, as there will be false teachers among you, who will secretly put forward wrong teaching for your destruction, even turning away from the master who gave himself for them, whose destruction will come quickly, and they themselves will be the cause of it. As Hank Kuhneman said in one of his videos, if a person said casting your cares on him, he said he gonna cast the devil out of him for casting the cares on Yahshua. That's blasphemy, right? All right, CV says, sometimes false prophets spoke to the people of Israel. False teachers will also sneak in and speak harmful lies to you. But these teachers don't really belong to the master, who pay a great price for them, and they will quickly destroy themselves. ERV says, in the past, there were false prophets among Elohim's people. It is the same now. You will have some false teachers in your group. They will teach things that are wrong, ideas that will cause people to be lost, and they will teach in a way that will be hard for you to see that they are wrong. Oh, I like that. They will teach things that are wrong, ideas that will cause people to be lost, and they will teach in a way that will be hard for you to see that they are wrong. In other words, they will make it seem so right that they'll have you looking at me saying, I'm a demon. I'm a Judaizer, because I'm reading out the book, telling you what the book says from cover to cover. But they'll have you believing that they're right because they want your money. So they'll demonize a person who's teaching the truth. He's a Muslim. See, look, he got the Muslim cap on his head. You dodo brains. Oh, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna have to break this lesson up, chop it up. I should have knew that this was not going to be quick, because the Most High is rebuking the prophets in the last days, just like he was in the days of old, right? All right, so was that 2 and 1? So now let's go to 2 and 2, right? 2 and 2. Let's go to 2 and 2, right? So 2 and 2, right? All right, it says, and many shall follow their destructive ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. See that? Follow the prophets that prophesied to you, Trump coming, Trump. The prophets are not telling you to repent and turn to Yah, repent of your sins, right? Depend on him, look to Yah, look up, not look at the White House. I mean, we respect the government, but at the same token, they're not our final authority. I'm just saying. When y'all talking about y'all got all that power, but you look into the United States government, we should be looking to Yah. Looking to Yahshua, who is the author and finisher of our belief, right? Okay, now let me get it in here so I can read these last verses and close it down, because the day has been far spent. All right. So, verse 2 in the BBE says, a great number will go with them in their evil ways, through whom the true way will have a bad name. Huh? What? A great number will go with them in their evil ways, through whom the true way will have a bad name. Interpret that, brother. I'm glad you asked. Obeying the law will have a bad name. Doing what you want to do, we're under grace, will have a good name. Anybody can be saved. Just confess with your mouth, you shall be saved, right? Well, doesn't it say that, brother? Give me a call, 443-480-3116. We'll talk about it. All right? No, why can't you answer on the video? Why can't you shut up? No, I'm kidding. All right, let me get back. I done went to meddling again, right? All right. So CEV says many people will follow their evil ways and cause others to tell lies about the true way. All right. ERV says many people will follow them in the morally wrong things they do. And because of them, others will say bad things about the way of truth we follow. Okay. Oh, how about this one here? This is ESV. Many will follow their sensuality. And because of them, the way of truth will be blasphemed. I like that. The good news says, even so, many will follow their immoral ways. And because of what they do, others will speak evil of the way of truth. In other words, the atheists will come against the Bible because y'all are making the Bible a reproach and the people, you're giving the people something to say, right? All right. Young says, many shall follow out their destructive ways, because of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken. Okay. So that's now the last one here. We'll read this and then close. This is 1 John 4:1. Read the one verse. All right. 1 John 4:1. I said, right? So let's go over here. 1 John 4:1. Oh man. 1 John 4:1. It said, well, it reads here. Let's read it from the King James first. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they be of Yah, because many false prophets are going out into the world. Many? Too many to count, right? So BBE says, my loved ones, do not put your faith in every spirit, but put them to test to see if they are from Elohim, because a great number of false prophets have gone out into the world. CEV says, dear friends, don't believe everyone who claims to have the spirit of Yah. Test them all to find out if they really do come from Yah. Many false prophets have already gone out into the world. ERV says, my dear friends, many false prophets are in the world now. So don't believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see if they are of Elohim. All right, GNV says, my dear friends, do not believe all who claim to have the spirit, but test them to find out if the spirit they have comes from Elohim. For many false prophets have gone out everywhere. Young Literal says, behold, every spirit, believe it or not. Beloved, every spirit believe not, but prove the spirits, if of Elohim they are, because many false prophets have gone forth to the world, right? So that's it. I mean, I never did make it back to the video, but due to the fact that I'm almost going 3 hours in this lesson, I'll leave a link and I will highlight where you should see the Mario Murillo, the last one who they gave the mic to. He turned the whole thing around. I mean, you can actually feel the atmosphere change. And so I'm not saying that he don't believe, like they believe as far as with the election process and stuff, but he had a different angle that he was going at, and I can respect him for the angle he went in at. Okay. With that said, brothers and sisters, prayerfully, you stayed with us for this 2 hours and 45 minutes almost video. And I had been holding on to this for a long time. And so I finally decided to release it. I released it. Now I can go back to life as usual. It's off my chest now. So the rest is into the hands of the listeners, those that may stumble across this. And I know there's not a lot of people that want truth like this, and I'm not even offended because my channel is not blown up like a lot of other channels, it's fine. One thing I know is certain is true, that this channel is a record, okay, to the world, right? We speak truth according to the word of Yah, regardless of who likes it or not. So with that said, please join us each Shabbat at 12 noon. If you made it this far in this video, at 12 noon on this channel, Priest Kazak Yah channel, which is Malachi Ministries. And until the next time, we say shalom, shalom, shalom.